Hi, so this is Saturday the 14th, and we're in the middle of the coronavirus epidemic in Pescara. These are some of the views from my window, and as you can see, it looks totally normal, like a normal day. The only difference is that there is a lot of difference. Basically, we're not allowed to go out unless we have written permission. So basically, we have to fill out this form declaring where we're going, why we're going, and things like that. If the police stop you and don't think your reason is valid, you can actually get a €200 fine. So you're only allowed to go out once a day to go and collect food, and only one person out of your household can do that. Or you can go and get medicine. You're not allowed just to go to a bar, for example, meet some friends. Apart from most of the bars are now closed. Most of the shops are now closed as well, because obviously nobody's allowed on the streets, so there's no customers. So they're talking about that they're actually, this weekend, they're going to be closing the commercial centres. So, things like malls. And so basically when you go in, the only thing that you can go in for is to the food supermarkets and things that are in there. Every other shop is empty. So business next week, we don't know what's going to happen. At the moment, you are allowed, if you've got permission from your boss to go out to do work, you can actually do that. And if you are a business owner like what I am, I can declare that I can go and visit my where I work. So in my case, I've got some beautiful apartments at the AbruzzoBorgo, which is a touristic village that we're building, and I can go up and sort of have a look. But even if I was talking to people, I have to stay at least 1.5 meters away from them. But they severely suggest that you don't do this unless it's an absolute emergency, or it's a really sort of desperate measure. I've actually just come back from India, and I actually haven't been up to the AbruzzoBorgo yet. I might be going on Monday just to see how everything is. But of course, obviously, all the people who were due to come in and stay with us have cancelled because they can't come in because, of course, there is no flights coming in. There's no flights coming into our local airport. I think about 80 or 90% of the flights have been cancelled into Rome. I know that when I came through from my India trip, I was one of the last aircraft to land, and when I looked at the arrivals and departure board, more than about 75% of everything was cancelled. So I don't know quite what's happening now, whether they're actually letting some of the flights in and out, I don't know. But our local airport, Pescara, is closed. So it's really, things are really quite dire around here. Luckily, all the food shops have still got loads of food in, and we don't seem to have had a problem with the with the toilet paper like most other countries do have. There's still quite a lot of, there's practically everywhere. I mean, I yesterday went out to do the shopping, and I was just going to a supermarket that didn't have many people. So the cheaper supermarkets that I went to, they had big queues outside, which was actually quite interesting because everybody was in a queue, but you had to be a metre and a half away from everybody. So if you imagine the car park, you could actually see one person standing there with a trolley, then there would be a metre and a half, and then the next person, and so on and so on. So the actual queue went round the whole car park, and they were only allowing certain people in at certain times. I just went to a sort of more normal supermarket that had a bit higher prices, and I just literally walked in. There was very few people. I actually went to the deli counter. I was sort of in line, so I took my ticket, and we all had to stay, a metre and a half away from each other. So we were all sort of dotted around. Most people have masks. I didn't have a mask because Pescara has run out of masks. So, and they do supposedly stop the virus and things, but luckily everybody else was in a mask. So hopefully if they were infectious, they would be keeping the infection to themselves. But I'm laughing about it, but really it's quite dire. People should be able to get masks if they can't. We've actually got quite a big infection rate now in Pescara, which is a city, is an Italian city on the west coast opposite Rome, and basically we've got about 70 or 80 cases in the actual local hospital, which is sort of just down the road from me, and we've actually got some friends who work in Pronto Soccorso, which is the emergency room, and basically there are about 80 people in the hospital with the virus at the moment. And when somebody died, a lot of people went to the funeral, and it infected a whole big group. So the doctors and nurses there are already exhausted, and apparently the peak is not going to be coming until next week. But obviously more and more people are getting infected. On a more serious note, this virus is really affecting businesses. I'm quite lucky in the way that although I rent out apartments and we do retreats and things like that. In fact, most of the videos that you are seeing actually coming from some of the videos that we took on our various retreats. Unfortunately, obviously, my business has really been affected because obviously nobody's allowed to come into Italy. So all of my apartments and things and the retreats that I was doing have been cancelled. But hopefully I'll be able to reschedule them for September or, the summer. And so that's okay. But on a more serious note, some people are not okay. For example, the poorer people who depend on going out and selling their wares, in the local markets and things like that they're not allowed to do anymore. Some people go to do cleaning and things like that, and again, they're not allowed to go out. So what I've actually doing on another video is that I'm going to do this campaign, a type of GoFundMe campaign, where we're going to ask for donations of €2.50 or $3, so the price of a cup of coffee, so that we can actually buy seeds and seedlings for these people. Now, on my land, I've actually got quite a lot of land, and on the land, I'm going to encourage these people who can't earn any money to actually produce these fruit and vegetables, but more importantly spices and herbs and things like that. So if somebody donates €2.50, they will actually get, at the end of September, they will get some herbs and spices, obviously organic because we don't use the fertilizers and things like that, and those will be sent to them as a thank you for actually donating. And we're actually going to be able to help these people to bring some money in and have some food, obviously. So by planting tomatoes and potatoes and all that sort of stuff, they'll have a lot of food. So if you down below, there's going to be some links to this site that we're going to create. So if you wouldn't mind donating €2.50, that would be absolutely wonderful, because then it would really be able to help these people. We'll obviously be doing photographs and videos as it actually gets done. Okay, thank you very much, and hope you all stay safe. So take care and stay safe.